Alright, welcome back everybody. We are working on this background, and I think we're getting pretty close to the point where we can start doing some detail work. I think I want to do these rocks before I do the mud areas. So let's get out a red and maroon color for these rocks, especially the ones in the background, the ones that are darker. Let's also create a couple lighter colors. Okay, so pink and this light blue, or pink and green, makes a nice gray color. Okay, let's just start coloring and see what happens. Okay, let's get this little top here. Let's not change the color just yet. Let's keep using this one for just a little bit more. This big one on the right side over here, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with this. Maybe I'll just have it solid colors and that'll be okay. But it is a big area, so it's hard to say if that's going to be too much without some details. So we'll just leave it like it is for now. We'll come back to it and see what it looks like. Okay. Yeah, maybe this part. Color on the top of that one too. And what else? Yeah, I think I'm going to go back and start doing some detail work in the grass, just because that's kind of what I want to do. And it's something that's kind of tedious to do, and if that's the case, I should do it while I want to. Alright, so let's fast forward to about right there. Yep. Alright, with these grassy areas, I just like to put in some solid lines just to kind of blend them in a little bit so they don't stand out as so cutting into the grass. And it doesn't really matter how long they are, because you can always just work with it however you do it. You really just don't want to make them all the same length, because then it looks a little artificial. And as we know, nature is not artificial. Okay, up here. Alright, looking very nice. This will be a nice little area where the player's going to come up across a, we'll say a statue. It's going to have some significance to the plot. So, if we can make this look important and nice, that would be good. But yeah, this is just a simple pathway from a southern area to the northern area. And if I want to reuse it, I'll have to make sure to do something about this path, because you want to make sure all of your pathways are connected. You don't want to have a path leading to grass. So if I ever need a room that's just top to bottom in a forested area, I could reuse this screen and just make a couple changes here and there. Or maybe even like if I needed to, I could even make a path all the way through. That would require me just redoing all the grass, but that's fine. It doesn't take that long. Okay, that looks good. Put a couple more lines in here. And do we need to do any more of those? Probably over here underneath this tree. I'll want to have a shadow, but I can do that later. Although I don't like doing things later like that, so maybe I'll go back where I drew these original lines in, and I'll just add another little line underneath the tree. That way when it gets filled in with solid color, it won't fill in underneath this tree part. And then I can kind of fill that in later with a darker color. Okay, that looks good. So next, I think we want to take that green and green dithering color and then do the exact same thing going outward. That way, again, it looks more random or natural. Less artificial, we'll say. So just adding a few lines out of here, all of a sudden it starts to blend in much nicer from a distance. And we can add some on the outside. See, I wonder if I made all of these ones a little bit too close. It looks a little artificial. But that's always the danger when you're making these. You just have to zoom in, zoom out, come back to it, let it sit for a minute, and just come back to it with a kind of a different perspective. Anyway, that's how I do the grass in my game. I was looking at artwork from some of the other games, and in particular King's Quest games and the Space Quest, and they do their grassy areas a bit differently, and they look good. This is the method that I have determined looks good for how I want to draw it, so that's what I'm going to go with. I really admire the Quest for Glory grass artwork. It's like sharp edges and rectangle or triangle shapes. I don't know how they did it. It looks great, but whenever I try to replicate something like that, it looks a little off. So I'm just going to stick with what works for me. And I think people appreciate that because people like looking at things when they're kind of have their own style to them. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Probably want to add some up here too. Just gives the illusion of some like I don't know, like grass tufts lifting out of the ground, so gives it just a little bit more variety, makes it less boring to look at. That's the one thing about the King's Quest grassy areas that I don't like, is they just kind of look a little plain because they use just solid colors. I mean, it looks good. It just looks a little too much like a I don't know, like a coloring book that's been colored in with a marker or something. I like it when it has a bit more of an organic, even dirty, messy look, which is kind of what mine has. All right, let's see. It looks okay. I feel like it needs a little bit more in this area, maybe some more darker areas in the middle, and some more little pieces on the outside. Same over here. It just seems like just a little bit. Okay, and maybe even suggesting a little connection of these two. All right, let's go back to our solid green and color in some more parts of that. Okay, that looks good. Hopefully I'm not doing too much. I don't want to go overboard. Let's zoom out and take a peek. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I don't think it'll distract anybody's eyes, and it gives a little variety. I still feel like there might need to be a little bit more, but I like to use a green and gray for that as well. So it gives it a little bit different colors. So why don't I do that now? I'll do a green and a light gray. I'll add that in, just add a little bit of variety to this to these solid green areas. All right, there we go. All right. I might have to get rid of some of these. It'll make more sense when I back up and look at it, if anything needs to be done. But it's easier to put these in zoomed in, even though I don't get to get a bird's eye view of it. Okay, and I found that if you make them unstraightened, they kind of look weird. So I've stopped doing that because it makes it look like, I don't know, it just doesn't look right. All right, that looks a little bit better, and it's very, these gray ones are very subdued, so you can barely even see that they're there. So it doesn't call too much attention to them, which is one of the reasons I like them. I think I need a little bit down here, but not too much because we're going to put some brown dithers down there as well. So don't want to overdo it. So just a couple, maybe one more over here. All right, grass is starting to look more natural, which is nice. I think I'll add in the brown areas as well. So let's go back to our green and brown. And we'll start adding some green and brown dithers to make them kind of stick out a little bit, so they look a little bit nicer, a little cleaner. This isn't the most exciting part of the artwork, but you know, it does a lot. All right, let's zoom out a little bit, see how we're looking. See, already it looks a lot more natural. Instead of this clean cut, it gives it a little bit more, I don't know what you call it, a little bit more blending. Betrayed Friday. Friday? Well, welcome. Hey Sean, how's it going? What is new? It doesn't quite work with Betrayed, does it? Betrayed by Friday. Not as good as Crimson Tuesday, I guess. Dithers are 100% exciting. Yeah, that's surprisingly true. Anytime you mention dithering around pixel artists, they go crazy with excitement. But they're kind of boring to do, especially in the grasses. And I've done, I don't know, like probably 60 grassy pictures at this point. So after a little while, they get a little tedious. But honestly, I'm enjoying doing it right now because it's I don't have to think too hard about it. Just kind of have to put a bunch of lines in here. Deluxe Tux, I see. Yeah, it's really hard to keep your the same handle across all platforms. Is your real name Sean? Yeah, I'm the last person who's going to be doxing anybody. So where'd you get the handle Deluxe Tux? That's such a unique, that's a very unique handle. Mine's very boring. I just took my last name and turned it into, you know, Slat Studio. All right, let's zoom out and see how this is looking. I feel like I need a little bit more in this area on the bottom right and more over here. Well, let's just finish this small area because this is almost done. And then we'll go back and add a little bit more. Okay, that's looking good for the most part. So it'll be a good, I don't know if I'll be able to reuse this one without changing the grass area if I need to. I don't know how many times I'll need a north and south just forested area, but probably more than once. And if I just flip it horizontally, I could do that old Quest for Glory trick where you take the same picture, flip it horizontal, boom, new picture. A lurker account name. It doesn't have enough like random numbers in it to be a lurker name. Well, thanks for coming out and saying hello. It's just nice to talk to people every once in a while. This is just a small way to kind of motivate myself to keep working on these things. I work on the backgrounds every Wednesday, and I thought or is it Tuesday? Whatever day is on my schedule. But I thought if I set up a stream, I'd maybe get twice as much done. All right, I think I need to start using the green to get in there and doing the other side of the, we'll say, undithering. Yes, blending is a big part of this. Make it look natural. Oops. I joined Twitter to follow a few local bands, but then I got into the game dev community. Yeah, how did you manage that? That seems like two very disconnected communities. And I've seen you around quite a lot, so I think we follow a lot of the same people. Okay, looks pretty good. Didn't do the left side yet, though. The other problem with doing streams like this is it's hard to, you have to, like, Julia had the same problem where you have to, like, choose to do backgrounds that aren't going to be too spoilery. It's like I don't want to do any backgrounds where there's going to be heavy puzzle elements. But then, like, I feel like I'm showcasing boring areas. So it's like, oh, I'm doing another random forest area where you can walk up and down. Oh, great. That sounds like a fun game. I don't know. I guess that's like the problem with marketing any game is like you don't want to show too much, but you also want to make sure it looks good. But I feel like with these old style games, just the artwork novelty itself, if it looks good, kind of sells it all by itself. Okay, I think I need to go back and let me save it really quick before I break anything. Go back and undo the brown. Right there, yep. And I'm going to draw in a little bit of a block out of the middle that I can color with a different color. So it's not so coloring book like. I think that's the problem I had with some of the King's Quest art, was it felt like it was all static colors without a lot of like a deviation or detail in the middle of it. All right, let's see if that works any better. Okay. I played Techno Babylon in 2017. I really loved it and started following the artist and a few others who worked on it. I had never gotten super into adventures prior to that. Led me to play more indies, and well, here I am. Well, I'm sure everybody is glad to have you around because it's fun to talk to people. All right, where was I? I forgot where I was going here. I've been playing Larry 3 today, and some of the art is pretty. Yeah, I agree. I don't know who did the art for those, but they look good. They have a kind of a distinctive look to them too. It's funny how all these games look slightly different. It's amazing you can get so much variety of art style out of these pixels. I feel like actually all the art style. The Quest for Glory series looks fantastic in EGA, but I feel like the Space Quest games look really good. And then, like you said, the Larry games look great, and yet they somehow all look different. So I don't know. I was talking about earlier how my approach to doing like these grassy areas is kind of like a mix between the King's Quest and Quest for Glory, because I couldn't get the King's Quest look quite right, and it didn't work for me. Whatever I was doing didn't work. But I felt like the King's Quest way of doing it was just a little too bland and uninteresting. Like it was just a big block of color. And then I just started drawing a bunch of these like dithered lines, and it kind of looks good. I don't know. I thought it looked good. So. We'll see what other people think. The downside of these lines is it's kind of boring to do. Did I have any game dev experience before Betrayed Alliance 1? I worked with the same system, and I made like some really dinky games. Very short, just to kind of get my feet wet. You can play them, but they're not... I wouldn't. But the answer is no. I don't really... before working with this studio, I didn't really have any game development background. And coding is still really difficult for me. Luckily, this system has like a kind of a backbone of its system is already in place, so I kind of just have to add smaller things here and there. But if you want to do, I keep wanting to do more unique things with like the inventory system and with my menu bar, and that's proving to be really difficult for me, just because I just don't understand how the systems work. So I go into the original code, and if I start tinkering with that too much, I start breaking things. But I think I kind of gave up working on this stuff in 2013. That was when I think I finished the first part of Betrayed Alliance. And I thought, well, that was a lot of work, and now I have like a kid and a full-time job, and I don't have time for this stuff anymore. Fast forward like 6 years, I started seeing Crimson Diamond artwork pieces, and I was like, whoa, those are amazing. And then I started seeing people who were, she was getting a lot of attention. I was like, oh, well, people might actually want to play these games. So I thought, well, I've been kind of working on one, and I guess I can keep working on it. So definitely have a lot of inspiration from Julia. Oh, I just started watching, and this just when you said King's Quest 1 art is bland and uninteresting. Well, I mean, they were just starting out, so they were just starting with the tools. Isn't the story on King's Quest 1 that they didn't really have an artist? I mean, I don't remember if that's for sure. But wasn't it just like whoever was in-house, maybe like a programmer? I'll tell you this, King's Quest 3 and 4, fantastic artwork. But 1 and 2, not so much. Okay, how's the grass looking? I think it's looking good. Yeah, it is. They're dated. It was a new technology, so I'm certainly not saying I'm better than any of those people. I mean, they're professional for a reason. I'm just some guy in a basement. How's it going, Steven? I really enjoyed your last video, by the way. Roberta Williams responded to a question I asked her last week, so I'm basically famous now. Congratulations! With your newfound fame, you can help promote small indie game developers. I'm sure Roberta would love to hear my commentary on her artwork. All right, let's fast forward to other stuff. Let's do some rocks. That's my favorite thing in the world, is rocks. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm just looking at different colors I've used in the past, just to make sure I keep it consistent through my different rooms. Yeah, what question did you ask her, by the way? She randomly popped up in an adventure game community on Reddit and took... Oh, I did see that. I assumed that wasn't real, but I guess it was. I don't know why I assumed that. She just doesn't strike me as a Reddit kind of person, but... I should have popped in the comments just to see. I didn't even think about it. I have a pet theory that Roberta would be doing VR games if she was still in the industry, so I asked her about that. Yeah, I think you're right. I think she was on, was it the Adventure Games podcast? And they were talking about how people were doing like games like kind of like this in the old style, and that people were, you know, they had nostalgia for these type of games, and she was like really confused by that because she seemed to think that just newer was better, you know. So it would not be unusual at all for her to be interested in like the newest stuff. I don't think she's aware that this kind of stuff is even out there, or at least she wasn't in the interview. She just recently did an interview on Weird Gaming Adventures YouTube channel. I'll have to check that out too. Yeah, it's amazing that you can still get these people doing interviews. I know. I guess it wouldn't be easy to get these people, but I think the Coles are always podcasting and doing interviews too, so. Yeah, always pushing the envelope, always trying new things, which is a great business model for sure. I mean, to be able to innovate. In a podcast a few months ago, someone told her about the Crimson Diamond. I wonder if that was in the same adventure game podcast. I don't remember. Yeah, that would be cool. Exploring Daventry in VR, you know, just to do a huge like open world. Because I think these old adventure games were kind of like the original open world games, especially the King's Quest series, where you were like in the first few, you were kind of just dropped in and you're just kind of find your way around, you know. Not that there's anything wrong with the linear ones like the Space Quest series. I love those too. I think that's what I liked about Quest for Glory too, was you just get dropped into this town and you have to find your way and you just ask people, and I don't know, I really enjoyed that. You think you'll ever get that opportunity, Stephen, to interview her? I think that would be really cool. I've heard of Heroine's Quest. I think that's pretty old, isn't it? I haven't played it, but I've heard of that a long time ago. Maybe I heard of it when it was being developed and forgot about it. But yeah, that's very familiar. I don't know what to do with this giant rock over on the right. I feel like if I just color it in, it's just going to be too, I don't know, bland. But if it's dithered, it'll look too, I don't know. This dark brown is probably too dark. I don't know what to do with it. Yep, Corey and Lori do stream on Twitch every once in a while. Sometimes I check those out. It was released in 2014. Okay. I'll have to check that out too. Obviously my game is heavily inspired by the same series, so maybe I can borrow some of the elements that they do well. Because I want to redo my combat system. And I'd like to see somebody do it well. Or do something interesting with it. I don't plan on making it a big part of my game though. I kind of want it to be something that's optional. What did I just do? I just did something wrong here. Let me just switch these colors around. Yeah, I've been thinking about putting some more just like breaks into the rock. It's just so large. I feel like if I do anything, I don't know. I'll definitely start toying with that in a minute. Well, if she just did one, then it's quite possible, yes. Would like to review more King's Quest games first, though. Mm-hmm. Well, you should, because that's kind of your, like, not your specialty, but that's the thing that's the series you love, right? Okay, how does this rock look? I think it looks pretty good. I'm gonna have to add some detail work in it, but for the most part, it looks fine. This one over here, though. May as well just get some colors on it. Just a nice gray. And a dithered gray. And then, I don't know. Just like that, that'll be like a crack. And then I'll let it sit like that for a little while and then come back to it and see what we can do. Alright, let's see. This one is the one I'll be working on later tonight if I finish the one I'm currently working on. Finally adding some buildings. I don't want to say too much about it though, because it's kind of puzzle intensive. But let's see here. Oh yeah, this is the one we did last stream. We finished. I added a little bit of detail to it, so kind of get a new look at it. I think it looks good. I don't think I need to add anything else to it. Alright, back to work. Getting sidetracked because I don't want to color rocks anymore. Alright. More of this color. Oh, I forgot. I can make a blue and like a cyan and pink? No, cyan and red. And that makes a nice gray color as well. It's similar to this pink and green, but I like these dithered grays because they give the rocks some texture to them. You love it despite the bland and uninteresting part. Well, you gotta tell me where that is. You mean like the whole thing? This area right here? Yeah, you want me to put a whole bunch of like stuff to interact with, right? You want, I don't know, like, you want like a monkey in the tree that you can throw rocks at or something? Because that's gonna cost a lot of money for my animation studio. Adventure game players always wanting stuff to do. Oops. Now that I'm looking at it, this tree's, what do you call it? Not a leg, trunk? Seems like it's going really far out. I guess that's fine though. Trees can have that kind of stuff. Okay, let's just finish these and then we can do detail work and make them look good. What else? This and this. I just want to walk around typing variations of look rock on every screen. Great, I'm gonna have to make sure to have interesting things to say for that every single time. No, I was talking about King's Quest. You'll have to remind me at King's Quest 1, I haven't played that one. I've only seen a million people review it. In that game, you have what, 30 screens, something like that? And each one had something to do, didn't they? It felt like they were very economical with their screens. Like they always had like a hole or a rock that you had to push or something. I think mine will have more empty. Not empty, but like one small thing you can do in it and it's not that big a deal. For some of them. I'll probably end up with something around 80 screens, I think, for this part. You'd never say that about my art, of course not. I would never say anything rude about King's Quest art either. It's just unconscionable. King's Quest 1 was hard as nails. I needed a guide, and then it was still hard. Yeah, the beanstalk. Steven, you'll have to remind me if there was anything in the user manual about the beanstalk. Like anything. Because that's pretty brutal to players to have something that complicated. But I mean, it's also the first of its kind, so it's hard to fault them with difficult puzzles and things like that. At that stage, anyway. I mean, after you've had a few to kind of learn from, you think they would learn to be a little bit nicer to the players at some point. I guess being nice to the players has never been a big game design thing in the early years. Like Nintendo games are all just hard as nails. They didn't care how hard they were. Whether the player whether it was fair or not didn't seem to matter at all. Until frustrated kids grew up and started making their own. And started swearing that they're not going to make games like Mom and Dad used to. Stop. Your arch nemesis. They made that easier in the remakes though, right? In Larry 2, which I just completed, I had the same problem. I can't believe how evil that game was. I've been joking about Sierra being evil for a while now. But that evil is no joke. I haven't played a lot of the EGA original games. I first got into these games when they were the EGA pixel art. So my first ones were Quest for Glory 1, King's Quest 4, and Space Quest 3. And I've only gone back and touched some of the AGI versions, not for long periods of time. Like, I haven't completed any of them. Despite the evil nature of the game, it was enjoyable if you leave all that stuff aside. And what part of it do you find enjoyable? Because I've been trying to conceptualize that while I'm creating this. Like, what is it really about these games that people like? And my opinion is a lot of it is just the pleasure of exploring things and interacting in unique ways, which the parser lets you do. Growing up with Sierra made me the guy I am today. And I'm assuming that's a good thing. I mean, I think you're a pleasant fellow. I mean, these games influenced me quite a lot too. I mean, there's a reason I'm working on this silly thing. And it's not because I didn't enjoy them, it's because they were awesome. And I just like creating things. So, an excuse to, I don't know, I just really like creating things. Even if they're bad. Okay, how are we looking? I'm picking my way through all of this Sierra catalog. I want to do that too, a little bit at a time. Remember, I basically am a complete newcomer to the genre. I'm actually not that far off from you. Like I said, I played the EGA ones, but the earlier ones before that, I haven't played much. And this is not the place to be saying this, since I'm in the esteemed company of Steven. But when they moved from the parser to the point and click method, it lost a lot of the magic for me, and I found those games harder to enjoy. I'm sure that's a flaw on my part, though, Steven. I'm not I'm not saying anything bad about those games at all. They're beloved by, it seems like to me, about 80% of adventure game players prefer point and click. I just happen to be in the minority on that one. Okay, this looks like it'll all be brown. All right, any place else for this color? I think I'm done with this color. You guys can hear the music in the background okay? I don't know if it's too loud or too quiet or what. Okay, what color? Not white. You love the parser? And Adventure Game Geek, I know the feeling, can't deny that creative impulse. Yeah, and I remember in our interview talking to you about it, I get almost like a creative depression if I am not working on something. If a week goes by and I've done nothing, I just feel awful. So that's good. I mean, I don't have to motivate myself that much because it'll do it all by itself. What color does this need to be? Just gray? Sure, just gray. Let's just start throwing gray on everything that's left, so I don't have to think anymore. Beautiful. Is this a rock too? Or is that, what is that? Sure, it's a rock now. Oh good, the music is good. So I haven't played any of the Leisure Suit Larry games. Not a single one of them. I've seen, I think, the first three. I've watched people streaming. What do you find appealing about those games? Is it the story or is it the puzzles? For the old adventures I'm playing, my enjoyment I think is mostly academic. I am enjoying the connection to that era more than anything, but I also like the art and the writing. What's his name? The guy who did Leisure Suit Larry. He's a writer though, isn't he? Or he's a musician. I think isn't he a writer too? I feel bad if I go on too long without making a video. No, yeah, you get that. You have that creative drive, and it's it's both a good and a bad thing. I think it's part of our probably part of our personality, because not everybody feels that way. But I don't know. I've come to terms with it, and I'm glad I feel that way because it motivates me to do stuff. I don't think I've sat down and actually watched like a TV show in like probably, I don't know, like 6 or 7 years. I just feel like, I guess you can watch TV actively, but I tend not to. I had not touched Leisure Suit Larry either until about 3 days ago. I started playing them as a part of my Sierra project, but they made me laugh a number of times. Oh, what's that guy's name? He's like, oh, Allo, of course. He's a funny guy. He's a creative guy too. I found myself laughing at the streams of those games being played too. So they weren't exactly like I thought they were going to be. You know, I grew up thinking of those games as like, I don't know, just like not like pornography, but something similar to that, where it's just like crass, and it is crass, but it's more has more culture to it, I guess, than I anticipated. More sophistication. That might not be the right word, but maybe it is. I don't know. I follow him on Twitter too. He's pretty funny. He puts out bad jokes every once in a while, but I think they're funny. I think he did music on like the King's Quest series too, isn't that right, Steven? You would know, I think. I think I either heard that from somebody or somebody's review. The first one was pretty crass, but the second one was quite sweet. So the thing you like about him is more academic. I don't think I can. I don't think I can appeal to that kind of that feeling. At the time, players panned Larry 2 for not being adult enough. Yeah. And then, like in retrospect, it's one of the better ones because it's not, you know, similar to the way that, like the Wind Waker game, the Zelda game, people hated at first because of its cartoony style, and now it's like people love that style now. What am I missing? Anything else? Let's do gray and brown. Or maybe not. Yeah, let's try it. Just as like the highlight color for the top of these little dirt mounds, I guess. Well, I know King's Quest 1 is your favorite, Steven. Do you have any other of these old games that you just have a really like fondness for? He did music for King's Quest 1 through 3. Yeah, I think it was like a music teacher or something like that. So I guess teachers tend to have that same itch because like Jonas doing the Prim game, he's a teacher. I'm a teacher. I don't know. I guess that's another part of our personality. Like something about teaching appeals to artistic people, maybe. or certain kinds. Let's see. What does Jonas teach? I know Lowe was a musician. So I think Jonas was doing like philosophy or something like that. Hopefully this will look good. Otherwise I'm wasting time. Sorry, music for King's Quest II and programmer on King's Quest III. See, that's one thing I'm not good at, is programming. An older game that I played that I legitimately loved was Beneath a Steel Sky. Oh, that was the was it LucasArts or was that a Sierra? I'm confused. But yeah, I watched Steven stream that. You never put together a proper review of that, did you, Steven? So what was it about Beneath the Steel Sky that you really that really appealed to you? Was it the story, or I don't know? Is it ever really the puzzles that people think about, like that they really enjoy? Revolution games, okay. I think if I'm not mistaken, the Space Quest historian really likes Beneath a Steel Sky as well, and I think he did not enjoy Beyond a Steel Sky. If I'm not misrepresenting him. Yeah, I'm really curious about what people like about these games, because obviously making one, I want to make sure I appeal to those sensibilities. Like, I know what I like about them, but I feel like what I like about them isn't necessarily what other people do. I'd like to be able to offer kind of an experience that people enjoy, that different people can enjoy in different ways, I guess. I definitely wasn't thinking about these things when I made the first game. It was just like, I just wanted to make a game. Now I'm actually trying to understand something about what makes these games fun for people. Okay, how does this dirt look to you guys? I mean, it looks fine to me. If a little uninspiring. This, I don't know, do the rocks look like they're kind of floating though? Like this one in the middle here. This one right here. Looks like it's kind of floating out. He is a tough critic, that Space Quest historian. Yeah, I'll have to have him review my game like 2 years after it's out, so it doesn't get poo-pooed. He doesn't like these like fantasy games anyway. Yeah, I know. From the stream, we learned that you are not a big fan of the Steel Sky game, and that's what I'm curious about. Like, what was it about it that Sean liked? I think for at least what it seemed like on the stream, like some of the puzzles were a little, not finicky, but like you had to talk to the right person at the right time. And it just didn't, like the flow of the game didn't go right or something like that. Does that sound somewhat accurate to your experience? I'm sorry the same 11-minute song loop keeps playing over and over again, by the way. At some point I'll have to get some non-licensed music that I can run. If I did review it, I might have to do an AVGN routine. Yes, I would be a fan of watching that. For Steel Sky, I think they really nailed the tone of the world. I love the characters and the dialogue. Yes, I think the world building in that game is really good. I think if I remember watching the stream with Steven, we felt like the tone was kind of like at odds with itself. Like you had this dark world, and obviously there's an oppressive system, and yet like the dialogue and the characters interacted in a way that was almost too quirky for the setting. If I remember correctly, I think that's how it played out for our experience. Space Quest Historians hates fantasy with a passion. Yeah, I'm more of the fantasy type person than the space person. Although I do enjoy the Space Quest series, and I adore what is that TV show called? That old British one. Oh man, with Crichton. Remember, what is that show called? Oh, I hate that my brain is stupid. Yeah, so I don't think my game would stand much of a reviewer's chance against the Space Quest Historian. But I don't know that he'd play this game anyway. It doesn't seem like it's up his alley. If I recall correctly, the Steel Sky designers were at odds with each other on tone the whole time they were making it. Yeah, I can believe that. Because it did seem like it was kind of all over the place. I love the final result, but I can understand why someone might not. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I understand that. I think the world building in that game was really good. And I can appreciate it for that at the very least. Oops, let's turn that off. I think I expected it to be like Blade Runner, but it was more comedic. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't really have any expectations of it because I hadn't heard of it, and I knew the sequel was coming out. But I'm just so far removed from that genre. I actually didn't realize it was a sequel. I thought it was a remake. I think it was probably Steven that set me straight on that in one of his streams. I missed those, by the way, Steven. Are you ever going to consider doing those again? Or is that kind of something that ran its course? Those were so much fun. There are some games where the puzzle design is the most memorable part of the game to me. 2018's Unforeseen includes incidents. Unforeseen incidents was like that. Super puzzles in that game. That's true. Like Portal is a game that is brilliant. I mean, the world building there is also amazing, but the puzzles are so good. And I love The Witness, and that game is nothing. Like, there's almost no story to it at all. Almost. It's just all puzzles, and I love that game too. So I guess puzzles do have a good place. They really have to be well done, though, to be memorable. I think what I'm going for in mine is kind of a feeling of exploration. So I'm trying to make sure there's like hidden areas that you can get to if you are, I don't know, like intrepid, and little bonuses you can get. So I like collectibles in games. It's hard to do collectibles with adventure games though, because you usually need the item to get past the puzzle. So that usually doesn't work well with collectibles. But I want to have some kind of system where you can find things off the beaten track, and they can help. I like the puzzles in 2020's Hand of Glory. I just got that game and I haven't played it yet. I'm really looking forward to it. I like the hand-drawn art style. And after Steven, after your video, I really wanted to get Sniff Adventures. I think that would be a great game to play with my kids. I just wish I could get it on my Switch. instead of on a computer. It's just hard to hook up my computer to the TV and not have my 1.5-year-old tear everything apart. But we'll figure it out. That game does look so like enchanting, though. It looks innocent and fun. I don't know if it is or not, but that's what it looks like. Well, if people want to watch, I'd consider streaming again. My reviews are my main focus, so of course. And you were gathering video for reviews from those. Is that not correct? That was like part of it was just to get a nice recording of all that stuff. I'm still waiting on your Colonel's Request review video. I think that was the first stream I saw you doing. I jumped in halfway through the series and I loved it. That's another game I hadn't played. We only had we had 3. We had Quest for Glory, King's Quest 4, and Space Quest 3. Those are the only ones I remember playing. We also had Monkey Island, but I never played it, and I don't know why. My sister was in love with that game, and I just never played it. I don't remember why. Sniff, yes, I think it's up your alley. Sniff is a very stop and smell the roses kind of game. Yeah, it looks lovely. I just want to play it. And it looks like it's a fun game for my kids too. I mean, it's hard to say no to dinosaurs. I actually contacted one of the developers and asked about a Switch port, and he said, well, it would be cool. It's not in the works at this time, which is fine. You know, it doesn't all have to be about me. Yeah, he had mentioned to me too that a lot of people were saying they were interested in playing it with their kids. So that must be something. There must be something in the art style, I think. I know one big thing that adventure games have that a lot of other, in my opinion, a lot of other gaming genres don't have is their hyper emphasis on storytelling. So that's one thing I want to make better in this follow-up to Betrayed Alliance, because I thought the story in that was in the background, and I wanted to have more of a narrative this time around, and actually give the characters, like the main character had no development in the first game, almost no personality either, and I want to fix that. I don't think that was good. Okay, I want to do these pine trees, and I want to do them in a similar style to these. So I need to do some black outlines. Yep, so I have recordings of King's Quest V. Colonel's Bequest was my favorite to stream. My review of that would be more in depth, and I'd want to replay it to figure out the time mechanic. Yeah, because you can miss all kinds of stuff in that game. I started playing that after your review, and I was always upset that the time was moving because I felt like I was missing stuff. Yeah, but what a cool concept for a game Colonel's Bequest had. So I'm looking forward to see what Julia does with that kind of format. And I like that she's making it so that you can kind of have some control over that change in time. So you move the plot forward when you're good and ready, which is awesome. The same time mechanic is my least favorite part of Colonel's Bequest. Glad Julia decided not to keep the time. Yeah. Yeah, she's keeping something similar to it. Yeah, it's like whenever you want to advance the plot, I think that's when you do your eavesdropping thing, and that advances the story. Yeah, I don't think the mechanic is necessarily bad. I think just giving the player control over it fixes all of those problems. Just like I don't think like the dying mechanic is bad in Sierra games. Like some people don't like them, but I think if you do them well, you can make them an absolute feature. I started The Last Express recently, and it is the same deal. Constantly running clocks are my enemy. I hate missing stuff. Turns me off the game. Yeah, it's when you're missing stuff and you know you're missing stuff and you know that you can't get back to it. That's very frustrating. Yeah. Because with like Znif, right, you're collecting these pebbles and you know you could miss some, but you always know that you could, I'm assuming, you know you always have the chance to go back and find them if you want to. Feels like it disincentivizes exploration. Yes, exactly. Which is kind of the opposite of what I think is fun in these games. Because you're going around, you're exploring, and then all of a sudden, oh, now you missed out on content and you can't get back to it without another playthrough. Yeah, that's not what I want to have in my game. Well, if you do start streaming again, Steven, I would try to find the time to be there. You know that every once in a while I'd have to leave to take my kids swimming and whatnot, but it was really fun. It was really fun times. I understand it's a lot of time on your part too, and it takes a lot of setup. Yeah, and it seemed like the viewers were the highest around the Colonel's Bequest time when you were doing those two games. I usually can't stand having a time limit, but in Colonel's Bequest, I believe it only advances when you perform a certain action or enter a certain room. That is correct. Yeah, it's not actually based on time. It's just act on an action that you take. I think the only problem with it is you don't necessarily know what triggers those unless you played the game or have a walkthrough. And then like triggering them, you're like, oh, well, I probably didn't get to do stuff in other rooms that, find clues and all that stuff. And there's really no way for you to know ahead of time what's going to trigger those. But I mean, it is a good way to increase like replay value, which a lot of adventure games don't have. So if you know what the triggers are, you can kind of control time. It's a time control game. Okay, this one being closer in the foreground is making these lines a little bit harder to make look right. What's that fill for? Just erase it, I suppose. Okay. So those branches on those back two look quite good. So it's amazing that just a simple black line can really give the illusion of these branches here. And then the Colonel's Bequest sequel, that was a fun game too. I enjoyed watching you stream that one. It was frustrating with the that weird eavesdrop mechanic. I remember before you were like able to go around the museum. That was weird. I'm not sure what they were like. You had to stand in like the perfect pixel perfect spot for it to work. It was very very specific. Okay, I'm not so sure about this tree. I might have to do a little bit more wavy branches, or to simulate those branches. Listen to like 25 conversations straight. Yeah. That actually is one of the things that turned me off from, was it Quest for Glory 4? My brother got super into that game. And then, like, anytime I would walk by the computer screen, he was always talking to somebody. And I was like, don't you play that game? Or is it like you just listen to people all the time? And I never played it because maybe I got the wrong impression from watching my brother playing it. So that's another one I need to give like an honest try, because I feel like I didn't give it a fair shake. And then people wander around the museum at random, oblivious to the mango corpse in the room. Yeah, they could have coded in something for that. Yeah, that game was very like slapstick. I remember the guard's office with all the like dangerous things all over the wall. It definitely had a whole different vibe to it than the original did. And I don't think it worked as well either. I think the first one was superior. I hated the voice acting in that game too at first, but then it grew on me because it's charming in its own way. Not sure if you can hear my 1-year-old babbling in the background, but if you can, he's just saying hello. This tree's giving me trouble too, because this tree is in the way, and I don't know where exactly the branches should be. It just doesn't look right. Oh, that's right. Also, in Aman-Ra, I got an unwinnable state in that tunnel. Oh, I remember that with the snakes, as I didn't eavesdrop on somebody from behind a tapestry. Oh, I remember that. I love the actor of the soft-spoken Egyptian dude. Yeah, bad voice acting has a certain charm to it. I still think the game with the best voice acting is Psychonauts, and I think Adventure Game Geek should play the game, because it's really an adventure game trapped in a platformer's body. Did the same thing in the same place. Yeah, unwinnable states. What is... That's always the thing that people talk about as like a bad design practice. And yet there's... all of these games have them. I mean, I guess it wasn't a bad design practice back then. I don't know. Sorry, I muted my mic. Got some drama going on in the background with the kids, so I don't want everybody hearing yelling and screaming and all that stuff. Alright, no, don't go back to the rocks. Focus on the trees. Oh, I was trying to get sidetracked because this tree is not going the way I wanted it to. I'm not sure what to do with these. Well, we'll just move on. We'll come back to it later. What's the next step? Basically needed a guide to avoid them. Larry 2 has 10,000 unwinnable states. Ow. I don't understand that. Alright, where is it? I need just the green and green dither? Okay. Maybe I should do those sides of those trees before I do the other dither part. So let's back up to where I drew the trees originally. Yeah, it's almost amazing that these games have have found such a warm place in people's hearts with all the frustration that they put people through with these convoluted puzzles, unwinnable states, all that stuff being so frustrating. Okay, back up a little bit more. Okay. And we want to break out the dark bluish cyan aqua color. I don't know what color this would be. I'm okay with reasonable player death, but unwinnable states are totally bad design. 100%. And I don't know why they ever thought it was okay. I mean, it's certainly a lot easier on the designer side of things. It's like, well, how do I figure out a way so that they can get to here, but also have everything they need from an earlier place? Well, if you don't, that's their fault. So it's a lot easier to design to not worry about that stuff. But it's also such a bad practice. Nice chatting. Got to work on my King's Quest II video. Thank you so much for stopping by. It was a pleasure to see you and talk to you. So, great video. Thanks for stopping by. Good luck with King's Quest II. All right, black on the bottom. And there we go. And then black again. And then one more for this one. Perfect. That should work. If I go all the way to the... Yes, excellent. No, this picture is almost looking complete. It's got a lot of detail work that needs to be done, but it's all colored and it's all looking reasonable. So that's good. Are you drawing with a tablet? No, I'm just using a mouse. I've tried using tablets. I've never been able to get used to them. One day if I win the lottery and have tons of money, just get this screen that you can draw on. That would be the best. Giant, big old screen. But until then, I'll just do it the way I'm doing it. Let's see. So it is just a green and... Okay. Green and green. Let's make sure this lines up with the black lines as well. Well, I really appreciate you chatting and letting me know your experience with a lot of these games, because it really does give me a better idea of what works with these games, and I don't know, maybe what people like about them. Because there's one thing I can't give people, and that's actual nostalgia. Because this is it's not an old game, it's a new game. I guess they can have that nostalgic feeling just by the artwork and the layout, but if the actual game's not fun to play, then I feel like I'm wasting my time. Although I think people maybe are generous with that. Like, if you have a good story, or you have good puzzles, like, I don't know, people just, they like different things about these games. So we'll see. I'll have to get some feedback from playtesters at some point. Yeah, nostalgia is not a factor for you. Yeah. Yep, you're looking at it from an academic point of view. You liked the tone of Beneath the Seal Sky. What was it about Larry 2? Did you like Larry 2, or was it just the... I just remember you saying that was different from Larry 1, and that it wasn't... You said it was sweet or something like that. But that doesn't necessarily mean it was a fun game. Okay, those are looking pretty good. I think I had one more thing with these black lines. I think I had a... Yeah, looks like I had a little bit of a green and blue underneath of them. So I'll have to remember to do that. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I have a bit of a theory that the thing that people like about these adventure games, more modern games do generally better, like the Zelda series with the open world adventure. I think that's one of the elements that people really liked about those old games. But now, like, any genre can have that. You can have platformers with open world adventure. You can have action adventure games like the Zelda series. And with a gameplay loop that's, you know, more... Fun's not the right word, but more pleasing to more casual gamers or different kind of players. Did I like it? I am glad I played it. We can put it that way. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there has to be something more than nostalgia that people enjoy about these games. I definitely enjoy modern games more than I enjoy older ones, for the most part. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I fall in the same category. I am playing Space Quest 3 again, and I'm enjoying it, but mainly for the nostalgia of it. I got stuck on a puzzle, and I was like, well, I don't know what to do, and wandering around looking for things to interact with was not pleasing. It wasn't fun. Maybe there's an aha moment when things work, though. That's always a nice feeling. And that's probably part of it. But I'm not like adventure games are not my main thing, so trying to find out what works is tough. I definitely enjoy modern games more. Mm-hmm. But I am looking to expand my adventure gaming horizons and playing like Sniff. I'm really excited about doing that. I want to get into Hand of Glory. I think you mentioned you started that one too. I'd be interested to hear how you liked Hand of Glory when you get around to it. Yeah, I bought that with... it was a couple months ago. I bought it with Thimbleweed Park as well. And I played through the first couple acts of Thimbleweed Park. And then somewhere in Act 3, the game lost all of its charm for me. And I think it was having the multiplicity of characters to play, and then the fact that the puzzles started to feel like they were just there to be in the way. There was just one moment with the clown and his joke, like a page out of his joke book, like just flew in the air away. And he's like, well, I better go get that back. It's like, well, why did that happen in the first place? Like, I don't feel like I'm doing anything important to the actual story. And I got frustrated. But a lot of people love that game, so I don't know if I'm going to play it again. I started it on the easy mode because I got stuck. But maybe I don't know, maybe I just watch somebody's video of it. If you get stuck, I did write a full walkthrough on Steam. Excellent. And I don't know if there's a whole lot of those out there, so yours might be one of the few of those to find. All right, these trees are looking pretty decent. This one on the right, though, is definitely not the same as the others. But also, how big of a deal is that going to be? Are people really going to notice or care? That's one of those things I think I come back to later to look at with fresh eyes. Okay, let's see here. I need to do more detail work on the rocks. And the bushes. The bushes need a little bit of work too. Rocks or bushes? Let's do bushes. Let's give them a highlight first so they can stand out a little bit. All right, green on top and blue on bottom. Yeah, definitely the games with unique art styles like Hand of Glory and Sniff, those really kind of stick out to me. I'm a sucker for the art styles. Maybe I make it all the way. Yeah, that'll just make it stand. That's almost too much though. It's almost like it's glowing. And then if it's only on the right side, it does look like it is just highlighted, which I like a little bit more. So, oops, I just ran out of memory. Will you let me save? Okay. Well, I think I'm going to take a break as I get everything set back up. Have you seen the game If on a Winter's Night for Travelers? It's free. Oh, I did see, I think I saw a promo of that. And then I saw a promo of it on somebody's review site. And it's free. And it looked really good. Yeah. That's something I want to look at. I wonder how long it is, if it's going to be free with such a good art style. Yeah, I don't know how they what their monetization plan is for that, because obviously somebody put a lot of work into that. So I don't know what they're up to, but I don't know. We'll see. I'll definitely want to look into that. I'm going to take a quick break. If you want to hit the road or do something else, I completely understand. But my program ran out of memory. I'm going to have to reboot it all. It's about 2 to 3 hours. Okay, that's pretty good. That's I mean, a game of that size with the art style it has, I don't know. Yeah. It says the man working on a free game. Yeah, that'll be good enough. I hope. Okay, right about there, yeah, because I don't want to go into the darker area. And I think I forgot to redo a little bit on this side as well. Alright. And then we have one over here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that looks good. Down here. I think after I do these bushes, we'll need to do a little bit of work on the rocks. Give them just a little bit of some little detail work so they're not just flat. All right, let's see. Do I want a little bit on this side? Probably. Okay, one little guy down here. Alright, this one has a little bit of a weird divot to it. But I think if we highlight the whole thing, it looks good. And then down here, another one. Okay. Lovely. Alright, next side. Over here. I don't like this black dot right here. So maybe I'll just fill it in with that green and just call it a day. Oh, I see. That's what the problem is. Yeah, that's going to be a little bit of an issue. I have my light green on an off dither with the grass highlights. Didn't matter on this side because we weren't highlighted. But here we are. I don't think it matters if I switch it around, because you're not going to really notice the difference against, even though it's going to be highlighting the green of the bush with the blue and the blue with the green. I doubt that it'll really be noticeable unless you're looking real closely at it. Yeah. Except now it's like vanishing into that. Oh, this is interesting. So maybe I just let it have that off. No, it's doing the same thing. Or did I just forget to? Yeah, I did. I forgot to change the palette. Well, this is a curious problem. I never really ran into this before. As long as it's blue, it doesn't really matter that much. So this is probably fine. Looks a little weird over here. But probably not. If we back up, it's probably not too noticeable. Just that one little green dot, but that shouldn't be there anyway. I'm just going to go ahead and fix that now. Just make it green. And then everything should look normal again. Okay. Back to work. Then we won't run into that issue anymore on this side. So I wonder, I think I'll switch the colors back. Oops. And this should be blue. Nope, I did not. I didn't switch anything. So let's do green on top, blue on bottom. And let's see. Am I going to have that issue anywhere else? I will over here. So before I do that, before I change the palette again, make sure I do this bush too. Alright, and just do the highlights on the blue parts as much as possible. This part I have to have green. And the rest of it will be fine. Okay. I think we avoided a weird issue. Just do that. It's not perfect. Let's zoom out. Yeah, that bush looks really weird, actually. I think this line doesn't look right. I think if I do that line a little differently, it'll look more normal. Something like that. Welcome into the chat. You like it? Does it work well? I'm going to zoom out. It still looks really wonky. Man, maybe I have a different plan here. Erase all that. I'm going to just choose a straight blue. And hopefully that'll not be too noticeable from a distance. as a highlight color. Or maybe I just did the shadows weird. It still looks a little weird. It's almost too highlighted. You know what? I think, bear with me here. I think I just leave it black and just avoid that issue altogether. Just say, it's kind of in the shadow of the tree, doesn't have any highlights. I know, it's a cop-out, but I think it's the best option I have this time. Alright, some highlights over here. Oh, I'm running into the same issue. Oh wait, I forgot to switch the colors back, right? Green on top, blue on bottom. Okay. Yeah, that's better. Probably. Yeah, I didn't know these bushes were going to cause me such consternation tonight. Okay. Alright, let's zoom out and see how we look. Oh, looks fine. Maybe a little bit in this back one though. Just a little bit though. I think the ones in the background usually look a little bit better when they're not too highlighted. Okay. Let's zoom out and see what we're working with. Okay. Looks fine. The harshness between the blue and the green though, or the blue and the black, is a little bit much. Alright, what else? This little gray area over here is kind of, I think that's the wrong color for it. So let's get out a gray. And we'll put a little, I don't know, it just feels like there should be a line here. Or here. And then this one looks like it's just kind of a highlight a little bit. Let's darken this. And it can have a couple little spots on it like that, that's fine. Let's see. I do need to do some more detail work on these, so I'm going to choose a dithered gray, which is like a maroon and a blue color. But from a distance, it looks like a dark gray, like over here. So I find this color here, this blue-red, looks really good as like a, I don't know, almost like a crack on the rocks. So if I zoom out, it just gives it a little character to it, which I think looks good. This rock needs a little shadow to it, so I'm thinking maybe just, I don't know, up here like this. Just a hint of a shadow. Up on the back as well. That way it's not so flat. I probably want to highlight the top of it too with a brighter color. And then here we can just add just a line, just a hint of like a, I don't know, like a rock standing on another rock. Anytime I see one of these breaks in the black line, it's just a good place to add a little, like a texture. Let's see here. All right. I think I'm going to keep that, but I'm going to change the color to an actual natural gray. And that can be a natural gray as well. That's fine. I'm going to put some of that over here as well. Something like that. Okay. This gives it like it's rocks building on other rocks. Not too much though. Okay, now what? Now what? Zoom out, look at our rocks. These ones look pretty good. This one back here needs some, just a little detail to it, like a crack, something like this. And maybe one up here, maybe not. Maybe one going across like this. And then when we zoom out, doesn't look great, but it doesn't look terrible. Let's get rid of that line. That looks much better. I still feel like I want a hint of a line on the top here. Yes, I think that looks good. Yep, I like that. All right, let's work on this big one over here. I'm dreading because I feel like it's going to be hard to make it look good. But these smaller ones over here, those are always easier. So let's do a little bit of work on these. And I almost feel like I want to make these black lines here this different color. So it just doesn't, so it's not such a strong break. It feels like it's all one piece. Okay, I think that's slightly better. Add a couple more like cracks in the rock. And then I don't mind that this has a black line here. It gives it the feeling that it's a harder break, which I think is good for this one. I'm not sure what I want to do with this line though. Maybe just down like this. I think that looks better. Just a little bit of like a, I don't know, like a shadow. Hey guys, welcome in. Hey, Void Breach, good to see you. Oh wow, it's beautiful music playing. Oh, thank you. Well, get used to it because it's on like a 11-minute loop. So after a few hours, pretty neat. Well, thank you. Here's the full image as it's looking so far. It's just a nondescript pathway from north to south. This gray block in the middle, I'm kind of envisioning as like an old stonework walkway that's been overcovered in grass. Obviously, right now it just looks like a gray block. I haven't done a lot of work on that part yet, but that'll be the next part after I do some detail work on the rocks, and then some trees as well. So what's new with you guys? How's your Friday? I hear a slight echo going on, but maybe it's just me. Is it in the music or in the microphone? Or both? I don't hear it. Nothing much. Okay. It's only affecting your voice, not the music. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to check my settings, but there's nothing that immediately comes to mind that would be the problem. Have a good night, Shoto. Thank you for stopping by, giving me butterflies. Well, Void Breach did Feral stop streaming. I think I'm technically still in her stream. In lurk mode, of course. I hear it now. Know what you were talking about. How bad is it? All right, now I kind of want to listen on my phone and see. Check. How bad is it? Sounds awful. Maybe I'll take a quick break and see if I can figure it out on my settings. Not too bad. Okay. Well, we'll see if it gets. if when I'm editing it, it sounds awful, I'm going to blame you guys. All right. So what's the consensus? Is there anything that looks off, that doesn't fit with the picture, that I need to kind of give a little bit more attention to? Clearly the rock on the right doesn't have any detail on it, so it looks kind of like bland. But other than that, is there anything that has been detailed that just doesn't quite look right? Don't blame you? Well, I'm going to blame you anyway. No, I'll blame myself. I obviously did my settings wrong. Alright, back to the rocks. I really enjoy using the this dark red and dark blue dither, because I feel like it just gives the rock some what's the word, like texture to them. Pine trees are really good. Thank you. Yeah, I was using one of these pictures as a template. Let's see if I can find it. So I have like 50 or 60 images in my game at this point. So, oh yeah, this one. I was using this picture as like the prototype for the coloring. And there's still one more thing I need to do on the new picture. There's a blue and green line underneath the black line, and I haven't done that on these yet. Oh, thanks. I liked the way that the clouds turned out on this as well. The only problem is they obviously don't move. This is just a static picture. But I don't think that matters too much for a game like this. Hopefully. Static all the way, yeah. Animating is going to increase the budget, so we don't want to do that. I don't have any of that Kickstarter money, so. Not yet, though. I have been tinkering with, I don't know, the date that I want to do it on. I wanted to see if I could have enough done to kickstart the game this month, actually, but I'm not even close. So I'm trying to think if I need to put it off for like a year or 6 months, or I don't know. We'll see. All right, I had a plan and now I forgot what it was. Imagine you could have done this exact same job 30 years ago and made top Sierra dollar. I know. I missed out. Could have been making that was it aloe money? Yeah, I imagine their tools for this wouldn't be a whole lot different than what I'm using now. So, and I think the tools that they use are actually available. I've never given them a shot though, but I think you can just download them off of the SCI programming website. One tool that they have on that this one doesn't have is kind of like a almost like a spray can tool, where it just kind of sputters out a random amount of pixels. You see that get used on some of the Space Quest 3 backgrounds, and I think they use some of them for the bushes in some of the games. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't feel like my artwork is quite at the level of the Sierra games. I think it's just like a tier below. Oh yeah, I love the spray in EGA Studio. Oh yeah, I bet it's the same thing. They use it in a lot of Manhunter games to add dirt on stuff. Exactly. I guess I'm kind of replicating that in this area, but I'm using lines, and it's apparent I'm using lines. But I feel like it looks pretty good. I haven't played any of the Manhunter games. Are those something I should check out? Are they pretty good? They are beautiful, but got terrible gameplay. It feels like that's kind of true of a lot of the old games. Like even going back and playing the King's Quest games, if you didn't know what to do, I think you would get super frustrated. Better watch playthroughs. I mean, that's even happening to me with modern adventure games. A lot of people love Thimbleweed Park, but I got frustrated in Act 3, and I feel like I just want to watch it because I don't like getting stuck. And I hear the ending is interesting, so that doesn't look good. What was I think just that one line makes it good. But one game I am interested in playing soon is Nif Adventure. That game just looks cute and wholesome, and I think it would be fun to play with my kids. Same here. Thank God for the easier games such as Little Misfortune. I think I saw a video for that. It's a pretty short game, I think. It looked cool. Yeah, it does look really cool. Is that Nif we're talking about? Yeah. I love that hand-drawn art style. And maybe that's what makes me think my kids would like it. It has just like that Saturday morning cartoon vibe to it. It's short and got absolutely no puzzles. If the puzzles are done well, it shouldn't be an issue. But I don't know. Hey, Mark. Hey, Mark. I think I'm going to have to take a quick break. Something's sounding wrong with my sump pump, so I'll be back in a moment. Alright, false alarm. Everything's fine. Which is good. I don't want anything going wrong with my sub pump. Alright, so this rock. Thank you. Greg. The bottom of this gray area looks like it needs a bit of a shadow to it. So I think just a standard gray would look good. Nothing fancy on this one. Maybe up to about here. Something like that, maybe. Yeah, I feel like I would want puzzles. I mean, that's the hard part. Like, bad puzzles are frustrating, but like no puzzles I find is boring. So I don't know. Adventure games have a hard gameplay mechanic to get right. Alright, maybe it just needs to be solid. Something like that looks okay. Maybe even some lines down. That gives it a little personality. I agree. I'm trying to make sure every solution has hints in TCW, the corruption within. Yeah, and the demo didn't really have. I don't think it really had any puzzles to speak of. I think there was one item you needed to pick up. I don't remember. Was it a key for a door or something to get in the door? Maybe like an ID card or something. But yeah, it wasn't really. It wasn't like a heavy puzzle. You didn't You didn't really have to do much. It was more about the story. So I look forward to playing that too. So keep me in mind when you need playtesters. Yes, the game itself will sure have puzzles though. That's how I feel about mine too. Like I don't want the puzzles to be the primary thing that you look forward to in the game. I kind of want it to be more about exploration and like discovering secrets. But obviously you have to have puzzles in there. Yep, you know where to reach me when the time comes for some playtesting. Let's see, I need to get this rock broken up just enough, but not too much. Isn't that frustrating? And if it's like a too straight a line, it looks weird. Because like nature is not precise. These are always just a little off. Alright, that's a pretty reasonable looking crack. Yep, that's exactly, I do mean Twitter. That's the easiest place to reach me quickly. Yeah, I mean, I like the crack, but the fact that it's connected at the top actually makes it look weird. I thought it would make it look like it's supposed to. I don't know. Maybe it's only looking weird to me and not in reality. I'm just going to let it sit for a minute. Maybe when I have fresh eyes. Yeah, this part looks like it's probably angled down a little bit. In which case I can add a little bit of like little breaks or little divots. First now it looks weird with these vertical lines and these horizontal lines. I don't know what I'm doing. Kind of looks like the mouse I'm using now. I don't... Oh no. Why on earth doesn't it look like it looks like in my mind? No kidding. Can't you just look perfect the first time? I don't even know what it looks like in my mind. I just I just drew a big circle there, and now I'm trying to work out how it should look. I should really come into these pictures with more of a plan. Oh great, now I'm adding more cracks into the crack. This is not smart. Alright, looks good. Moving on. What's the artist mantra? Finished, not perfect. Also in EGA Studio, it is difficult to delete things. That might be the same in this. So you just have to. It's all command based, so it's remembering all these lines. So if I wanted to delete, I don't know, something in this tree, I'd have to scroll all the way back. Find that part, and then, okay, so go here, hit the delete button on these commands. Is it similar to AGI? Okay, trees. Let's make the highlights more natural. More like they're actually reflecting off bark. Oh yeah, I see. It's a lot like AGI Studio, only less cumbersome. It's less cumbersome than AGI. I wonder, I'll have to download that studio and see what it looks like. Have you made games in AGI? I mean, I know Void Breach was It's definitely not AGI, but it has like the same feel to it. Maybe this should be angled the same way as the tree. If I were being smart. Yeah, and the program I'm using isn't even the most up-to-date one. It's just the one I've gotten used to. Phil Fortier has put together SCI Companion, which is more robust than this. This one actually has bugs in it and will crash. But I don't know, I've just gotten used to it. I made the basic art in AGI Studio, then worked on it a bit more in Game Maker. Oh, okay. That would make sense. Yeah, I was actually really surprised when I started that game that it wasn't a type parser, that it was a point and click. All right, that looks decent enough. Move over this tree. This one looks like it's going to be easier to do. That looks probably good. It's hard to tell until I zoom out, but all right, just a hint of something over here. If it will let me. Oh, that's good enough. All right. Yeah, I expected a parser. I'm a sucker for parser games, and just by the looks of it, I thought, oh, cool, a parser game. I thought it was going to be an AGI style. But you know, point and click works very intuitively, so it wasn't hard to get a hold of or a handle on. I feel like this song on the playlist is so much louder than all the others. So, sorry about that. Let's add some shadow on the bottom here too. Alright, now let's get the brown. To do the inverse side of this. Something like that, just hinting at some bark. I still want to make more games with that art style one day now. Are you talking about the AGI one? Or like this SCI or this EGA style with the square pixels? I feel like the double wide ones are harder to, well, like just the ability not to do the same kind of dithering. I feel like limits the color possibilities. But I think Void Breach wasn't constrained to the color palette, right? The AGI one, I'm very enamored with it. It does have a very distinctive look to it. And at first I didn't like it that much, but it's grown on me quite a bit. Oops. I thought it was just the same as this art style, only like blockier, which is kind of true, but I've kind of just started to like it. It's grown on me. I don't know what to say. Let's put one over here too. That might be too much. Maybe something like that. It was 95% constraint, but yeah, here and there I did add colors. Faux pas. I won't do that again. Gotta stick to palette. Yeah, for the purists out there, you know. I guess I would consider myself that. I mean, I'm making a game that not only has the same art style, but like literally the same memory constraints as those old EGA games. This is probably not the best way to do it, where I'm just overlapping the colors, but at this point it's easier than rewinding all the way and just swapping the black for this red color. So. Oops. How is your project going, by the way? I haven't heard any news on it lately. Oops, darn it, I did it again. Yep, I'd also just add layers on them on top of another. Oh yeah, you definitely can't do that in traditional AGI. It's all based on the lines. I did it again. Man, I am having a hard time. See, that's why I should just rewind and replace the black line with a red line. Saving myself all this trouble. Corruption within. It's mostly done. Just got to add some more puzzles, cutscenes, triggers, create a save game system, menu system. Almost there. Hoping on May the 1st. I'll have a working beta. That seems relatively close, actually. Let's see. More puzzles, cutscenes, triggers. That sounds like a lot of work. Save game system. Now, when you say all that, is that like things you need to code in, like the save game programming, or the art assets, the 2D assets, or whatever? Oh, I never did this rock over here. Save this before I break anything. Okay, where was I? Right there. Just add a few hints of something going on in this rock. Not there, though. That didn't look good. Most of the puzzles and scenes are in the game. Just a few more to code. Well, that's excellent. Congratulations. How many people do you have working on that? I know it's you and I forget the guy's name, Captain Disaster, and I think you have one or two other people. Somebody doing music for sure. I don't remember if there was 3 or 4 though. I remember 3 in the Kickstarter video, but. Okay, trees are looking good. Rocks are looking decent. Grass is done. I feel like the muddy hills are still a little, I don't know, there's something missing. Yeah, but I guess I need to do something about this gray area. I guess if I was smart, I would have just added it as a movable picture. Then I wouldn't have to worry about doing anything different. I'm doing the art and coding. One person doing the music, and Dave is writing the game. Oh, Dave. The game design document. I see. Well, that's great. Make some happy backers. Excuse me. You know, now that I look at the grass, I feel like this needs a little bit more green. Yeah, the grass needs more green. It's like big revelation there. I don't know, it feels like it needs to be outside of this a little bit more too. Like over here, just little pockets of it everywhere. It doesn't just feel like it's one big blob. Grass is tricky, even more so than rocks or trees, I find. Yeah, I get really tired with rocks. I think it was when I was doing those mountain areas. Let's see if I can find those pictures. No, they're before that. Yeah, this one. This one. And its brother. I spent like 4 hours working on all these rocks. And then another 4 hours on all these rocks. And I got really tired of them. So now anytime I have to do rocks, I'm just like, I don't want to do any rocks. But all that my game has is trees, rocks, and grass, so that's all I'm going to be doing. The statue is glorious. You use a reference picture? No, I just, I should have even drawn it out before I did it, but I just kind of jumped right in and started drawing it. I had an idea of a giant, like, Great Wizard statue, and I didn't even think of it having like a broken hand at the time, and now it's a huge part of like a puzzle in the game, the fact that it's missing its hand. Oh, but thank you, by the way. I was really happy with the way those pictures turned out. Yeah, the only time I plan out the picture or like do a thumbnail of it before is if I know there's going to be heavy puzzle elements involved, that I have to make sure everything is perfectly placed. And yeah, like a picture like this, I know the player has to be able to go north and south, and that's pretty much it. So just put a bunch of stuff on the left, put a bunch of stuff on the right, make the path clear in the middle. So alright, and then I had some weird idea to put some stones over here, because I guess this is leading you up into an area where there are some like remains of a temple area or stonework area. So just kind of a hint. Now, if I was smart, I don't think I would have put this in here at all. I think I would have just colored it over with grass and put it in as like a picture element later. Do you have an estimation for the gameplay length? The first book was like, I think 2 to 3 hours. I think this one is going to be bigger and longer. So I'm going to guess maybe 4 hours. But it's hard to tell because I don't have all the puzzle elements put together yet. I have a little bit more than the basic story outline. I have like the important key events that like switch the story into a new thing. What are those called? Like the midpoint, the first plot point, second plot point. Yeah, 4 hours is pretty decent. I mean, this when I first started it, I didn't think I was going to be making it into 3 parts. It was just going to be one big game. And this particular area that I'm working on for part 2 was just supposed to be like, I don't know, like 20 screens, and now it's like going to be 80. So this part ended up being a lot bigger than I had anticipated. But yeah, that's part of the fun of it. Is the game is becoming more, or like the story is becoming more defined, and I'm starting to get excited by the character developments and all that stuff. Yeah, 80 screens was not what I originally shot for, but I have something like 55 or 56 now, and I haven't done a whole lot of them that I know I'm going to need. So 80 is an estimate. It won't be less than that, unfortunately. Yeah, and each one takes about 4 hours to do, so I don't know how much time that is, but that's got to be a lot of time. And that's partially why I'm doing these streams, just because I only spend 1 day a week working on the backgrounds, and then I spend 1 day working on animations. But I thought, well, if I start doing like streams, then I can have 2 days a week where I'm working on pictures. You know what? I think I am just going to go back and delete this, and I can add it in as an element later. That way I can use the old Quest for Glory trick to flip the picture horizontal, and I can just reuse it, and it'll look like a whole new picture. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, 5. And I think I'll add a little area over here that'll be discolored. Otherwise it'll look a little bare. Okay. And now I need to blend that into the grass, which will be easy enough. And then I think after this, unless there's anything else I'm missing, I'll just call it a day. Oh, I do need to do some shadow work with the bushes and stuff, but all right, not quite done. Not quite done. Can't call it a night yet. Hey, welcome, Stephen. Nice to see you. What you been working on lately? Let me zoom out the picture for you so you can kind of get a better view of it instead of a nice green and gray pixelated area. This is the area I'm looking at right now. It's a fairly generic forest scene where you can move south and north. And there might be a statue kind of right in the middle. Mostly on a Bubble Bobble clone and writing some stuff for a small point and click. Interesting. A Bubble Bobble clone. Is that like a personal project, or is that something that somebody wants you to be working on for them? Writing some small stuff for a point and click. When you say writing, do you mean coding wise or story wise? All right, I'm going to zoom back in and level out this gray and green area a little bit. And maybe add some shadows. Okay. Something like that. Let's zoom out and see how that looks. Yeah, that looks fine. Looks just like a little discolored area. And plus, I'll probably have a picture over top of it anyway, so. I did one 25 years ago, a multiplayer deathmatch version of Bubble Bobble. Now redoing that entirely to work in Windows over the internet. And yes, story and puzzle design. Cool. That's awesome. I had a couple people in here earlier and we were talking about adventure game design and how they were playing some of the old games, and I was curious. I'll ask you guys the same question. What do you think it is about those old games that you enjoy? Because it can be really frustrating, as Void Reach and I were talking about, like some of the puzzles you get stuck on and there's no win situations. You know, it seems like the developers put all these horrible roadblocks in our way, and yet we have like such fond memories of these games. It's like, what is it about these that is so cool? Exploration, that's my big thing too. That's the thing I come back to. But it's not the same for everybody. Some people don't actually care that much about exploration. And I kind of want to make it so that the game can appeal to the things that people enjoy about these games. Like for you, exploration, and for me, same thing. But for other people, it might be something else. And I'm trying to figure what all those different things are. Oops. I think today I appreciate the art more than before. That may be nostalgia. It's probably true for me too. I think in the early days, the art was really cool compared to even what you could do on like a Nintendo system. You could do cooler stuff in adventure games than you could on consoles. Like I remember the Quest for Glory 1, the fight scene, you know, that first person view with the sword and your enemies. That was just like, that was so much cooler than anything you would see on like a Nintendo. I enjoy looking at all the things in the world and playing a game that values experimentation over reflexes. And even if I resort to walkthrough, I love the story. Yeah, absolutely. I think you hit on a lot of important parts. Adventure games and story is just such a huge... That's one of the elements that adventure games have that still a lot of modern games don't, is the focus on story. But also like you said, experimentation. Like with the parser system, you can have so much variety of things you can interact with, if it's designed well anyway. And I think that's another big part. Like you're in this, it's like these adventure games were the first open world games. Right? Massive space, and you have this freedom to do almost anything. That's kind of how I feel about it too. So I'll have to make sure to add a lot of interactive parts and allow people to do clever things. That can be hard to do, though. It's hard to anticipate the clever things that people do. Parsers make for even more opportunity to joke around too. Yep, I agree with that. I'm a big fan of the parser system. I'm in the minority on this, I think, but I always felt like adventure games, for me, lost a lot when they went to the point and click. But like I said, I think that's like a 15% position. Most people really enjoy the point and click. The clever things that people do. No kidding. Yeah, watching somebody like play a parser game, especially my own, it's just like, why did I not think of using that word? Why did I not think of asking that question? So I think the more people I get to play test, the better. Yeah. You say the clever things. You're also talking about the stupid thing, the crazy things that you would never consider. Like somebody's going to go up to this bush and try and pee behind it or something. and I will not have prepared for that. Alright, let's need a little more shadow over here. Maybe some solid black. That doesn't quite work. It's cutting into that tree too, so I don't want to... Oh, that's why. I haven't detailed the bushes yet. That's why it doesn't look right. I used a trick from Low for my parser adventures, logged all of my beta testers' input into a file, and made the game respond sensibly to any command that wasn't completely outrageous. And some that were. Yeah. I wish I had done that for mine. I just didn't have anybody, I didn't have any playtesters when I made the first one. But now I think if I asked people, I think I would get a number of people who'd be eager to help me out. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see if people actually want more of these old style games, or if they're just nostalgic for the past. Yeah, but that is a really good idea, Stephen. I definitely want to implement some of that. Yeah, because 2 people played Betrayed Alliance on stream, and after they played it, both times I went through and every single thing they typed in, I made a response to, and then I patched the game. And some of it I really should have had there in the first place, but can't think of everything. Let's see, how is this supposed to look here? Something like this. I bet people type some pretty hilarious things too. Yeah, I'm eager to see all the stuff that people do with Julia Minamata's game too, because she has such a good attention to detail that you know she's gonna put in stuff for pretty much everything that anybody does. She's one of those rare, like, super detail-oriented people. Watching someone else play your game is an eye-opener, for sure. And you also see typos that you didn't notice before. Yes. Oh my gosh. I've patched my game like 3 times, and I still find a bunch of typos. Like, how did those get there? Somebody put those in there after I patched it. No, that doesn't look good. That looks wrong somehow. Let's maybe do it like this. That still looks bad. What am I doing wrong here? I don't know. Let's just leave that one alone. Because these really don't look too bad. They just need a little, just a little. They don't need a lot, just a little bit. Okay, what are we looking at? A couple more bushes. This pine tree on the far right is missing. Oh, that reminds me, I still need to do stuff for the trees. Oh man, I keep forgetting of stuff to do. Every time I think I'm almost done, I remember. Okay, so trees. What do I need? I need that green and blue dither. And right underneath the line, just a little bit. Something like this. To really sell it. Let's zoom out and see if that looks right. Yeah, it looks beautiful. Fortunately, I didn't need to add an awful lot of comments, mostly synonyms and conversation options. For instance, I referred to the boot of a car, and my testers use the American trunk instead. Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, that'll be something I need to think about too. Of course, I did even dumber things. Like I would talk about these important places, and then I wouldn't let anybody else you talk to about them. It's like, why shouldn't I be able to ask this person about this important person in the game? I don't know. Because I'm not too smart. But this looks good, so that's good. Okay, that's one tree down. 4 to go. About how much time would you say you put into your backgrounds, Cosmic? Like your not like your portrait ones, but like the general background pictures. I assume you work with something like Photoshop too. The message, this program is too dumb to understand your quest. What is it, Space Quest 3 that used it? Something like that. I think I used something similar. Alright, let's back up again. Yeah, those two on the left look very good, I think. So I think that just that little line underneath the black lines really adds a little bit. I think it was, we deeply regret to inform you that this program is too stupid to understand your wonderfully crafted sentence. I nicked that for one of mine. Yeah. I was just playing Space Quest 3, so I think that sounds very similar to what, if not verbatim, what it says. It's hard to say because you keep going to them to polish them. But yeah, a few hours at the bare minimum. The resolution is lower than bitrate alliance. Oh, okay. 256 by 192. Wow, and I thought my pixels were big. How'd you land on that aspect ratio? Oh, I got the classic Henry the Hermit music playing in the background. Slightly reorchestrated for copyright reasons, I'm sure. All right, now it's just this all the way one on the right that looks way wrong. Something about it. I think I need the black lines to be further in. It's only a question of how far from the screen you're sitting. Good point. Where did that black line come from? Oh, that's been there for a long time. Great. Now I have to find it and delete it. Okay. That one can stay. That one can go. Let's just get rid of all three of those. I can't remember why we decided on it, but I think I saw it somewhere. Interesting. Yeah, I was asking, who was it that I was talking to? David Brochek, I think. I was at one of his art streams. And he said 320 by 200. I asked him what pixel resolution he was working on. And he said 320 by 200. I was like, oh, well, that's the same I'm working on. And he made it sound like that was a very standard size for this kind of artwork. So I was just curious where you got your number from. Okay, I think that can be a little higher. That'll be connected to this topper one, this upper one. Gosh. Forgive me my terrible English. That's what happens when you live in Missouri too long. Just kidding. I love my state, but somehow I can't talk. I love this look, by the way. Doing a game in a similar style, but I'm cheating by drawing it on a larger number of colors. In a larger number of colors, and have made a program to automatically recover the dithered version from that. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm definitely going old school. I mean, I even have the same memory restrictions, so this is like a true SCI game. With all the good points and all the bad points. But yeah, I mean, I don't see that there's anything wrong with the way you're doing it. And like you put cheating in air quotes, I would do that too. I think that's a perfectly fair way to do the artwork. I know if if I was smarter, I'd probably be doing it the same way that Julia Minamata is with Photoshop and using Adventure Game Studio, but this is the program I know, so this is the program I'm using. Man, that tree, it looks okay. I just need to stop worrying about it. Okay, anything else sticking out in this picture? The only thing that really is irritating me is maybe the mud on the left. It just feels a little static, but I noticed the only concession you did to that is having MP3 music played through an external tool. Yeah, that is true. And that was more of a concession to the fact that there's something wrong with the way that the game was running music. Music has always been a really tough issue. Maybe it's the drivers, but I'm not sure. This time I'm trying to stick to the original music program so that Windows can run it, Linux can run it, Mac can run it, and it'll work just fine. Like I said, that was a concession due to the fact that there was just some bugs that were going on and nobody could quite figure them out. And using that extra program added some difficulties too, because it's a heftier programming load in that it took up a lot more space than the original music script. So I had to make the game file slightly smaller to compensate for that. But if I wanted to, you could use that same script to do voiceover work. So you could have voiceovers in your EGA graphic adventure games. But I don't know, that just wouldn't feel right to me. Okay, this is looking good-ish. think at this point it's you save it, you come back to it later, and then you make any changes. But I'm feeling fairly happy with the way it is, except for this way that some of these rocks are floating. Particularly this one right here. It just does not look like it's connected to the mud underneath. Nuts. I hate it when I notice things. I don't know if this is what I should be doing. Adding some dark like mud. Maybe I'm just trying to fix something that nobody's ever going to notice. And then I'll have to do that for everything else too. No, I think I was right. I think just save it now, leave it the way it is, come back later with fresh eyes. Maybe you guys can take a quick look over and tell me if you see anything that sticks out to you as maybe not looking right. Looks great to you. Well, thanks, Cosmic, and thank you for retweeting my Twitter invite. That was nice of you. And thanks for coming out and talking. It's a lot more fun to work on these pictures and talk to people about adventure games, get their opinions on things. So the only thing that seems a little odd to me is the grayish line on the mud. Can't tell if they're meant to be slopes or flat. Yeah, my idea with those was to be kind of like a highlight to show that they were slopes. But then the way that the rocks are lying on them makes it look like they're flat. And I think that's my problem too. So I think maybe we're looking at the same thing, seeing the same problem. Yeah, particularly this rock here. This one is really, because it's like you see the slope up here, and then it's over. It's not. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, even the shadow is carrying over. So I definitely will come back to this one. It's not a big issue, but it's definitely something that is there. Maybe add some shadows in between too. Perhaps the 4-color. Yeah, I was thinking using some dark red, like you're suggesting. Like in this area here, on the bottom of each one. I think that would work too. I think that's a good point. I think I also want to add some dark black lines underneath these rocks over here to make the shadows a little bit more forceful. Yeah, but I think overall it's looking good. So I'm quite pleased with it. And I can even swap it horizontally when it's fully done and use that Quest for Glory cheat of using the same screen flipped for a different screen. All right. Well, with that said, I think I'm going to call it a night. I think I've been on this for about 3 hours, so my back is starting to get a little stiff. It certainly wouldn't have looked out of place in Quest for Glory. Well, thank you. I still feel like my artwork. Well, I think it's pleasing to look at. I feel like it's definitely still a tier below the skill of the original SCI games, and I would say that Julia Minamata is really probably on the same level, maybe even higher than some. So I definitely look up to her for her artwork. Thanks to you, Void Breach, for coming out and saying hello and talking. It was great. It's great fun. And thanks, Steven. It was great to see you too. All right.
I'm calling it a night.
I'm calling it a night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.